Why Entertainment is striving hard to maintain Blackpink's unity, yet signs of strain are emerging. With no fresh album on the horizon and a forthcoming world tour that feels more muddled than exhilarating, fans are beginning to speculate if YG is losing control. Is the Deadline tour a means to reconnect Blackpink with their fans, or an unavoidable farewell disguised by binding agreements? Let's be real. It's been ages since we saw all 4 members of Blackpink together in a way that genuinely felt cohesive. Over the past few years, the girls have been pursuing solo achievements and finding success at a rapid pace. From record-shattering solo albums to headlining global festivals, it's evident they are flourishing on their own. While fans cheer them on, it appears that YG's grip is gradually loosening. This is something nice and anticipated, given that whispers of YG's mistreatment of Blackpink have circulated for years. Fans have seen delayed comebacks, scant promotions, artistic limitations, and numerous other issues during the years they were actively grouped together. All these troubles culminated in 2023, when the girls' contracts with the label, when the young women signed with the agency, were nearing their end. Naturally, the world held its breath. Would Blackpink remain with YG or finally break free for good? What transpired was somewhat of a compromise. The members renewed their group agreements solely for Blackpink activities, but opted for full independence regarding everything else. That entailed solo labels, personal schedules, and for the first time, complete creative autonomy. Once the girls gained that creative liberty, the outcomes were undeniable. The members delved into solo endeavors that not only highlighted their unique artistry, but also left Blackpink's entire group discography appearing rather grim. Rosé dropped Rosie in December 2024. Jisoo followed up with Amortage on Valentine's Day 2025. Lisa's Alter Ego was released at the end of February 2025. And Jennie's Ruby concluded the series in early March. These were 4 solo albums unveiled in just under 4 months. A feat never seen when Blackpink promoted as a group. As if that wasn't enough, Lisa and Jennie took the Coachella stage as solo artists in April, while Jisoo and Jennie embarked on their own intimate tours, connecting with supporters. Noticed the group connecting like they hadn't in ages. Although the group's name stayed consistent on paper, Blackpink, as a collective, became quiet, and fans couldn't ignore that. Every significant milestone the members were achieving had little relation to YG and everything to do with their newfound independence. While Blackpink was busy dominating the world individually, YG Entertainment was quietly disintegrating behind the curtain. As each individual release soared on the charts and illuminated stages worldwide, it became evident that Blackpink no longer requires YG, yet YG remains in dire need of Blackpink. In early 2025, fans discovered just how dire the situation had become. YG had concluded 2024 with its very first operating deficit, marking a total breakdown in the company's history. Despite generating over $250 million in revenue, they still ended up in the red, exceeding $16 million in operational deficits and wrapping up the year with a net loss of more than $340,000. To simplify the instant Blackpink opted for autonomy, YG's financial safety net disappeared. Observing these figures, it became clearer than ever to fans that YG is nothing without its top act and holds little value without its top performer. And as the group continued to drift further apart, the company found itself forced to switch to crisis mode. True to YG's style, they didn't release a new album or address the existing issues. Instead, they opted for the one surefire way to generate quick revenue: a worldwide tour. On February 5th, fans were taken aback by an unexpected teaser for a tour scheduled for 2025. Yet there were no specific dates, no cities listed, not even a proper title. Rather than creating buzz and anticipation, the announcement left fans utterly bewildered, given that the girls were deeply immersed in their individual careers and with no new music on the horizon. The whole concept of this tour felt unplanned. A fortnight later, on February 19th, YG finally unveiled the tour lineup, and it was enormous. Blackpink would kick off in Goyang on July 5th and 6th, make their way to North America by the end of July, perform in Paris by August, and conclude with a 3-night series at the Tokyo Dome in January 2026, an additional series of dates was added due to high demand. But even that didn't quell the feeling that something was amiss as it appeared. BLACKPINK had no new material to showcase. While the tour announcement itself was already... The tour is slated to kick off in early July, yet there's been absolutely no sign of genuine group preparations, no rehearsal videos, no hints of set lists, and no exclusive behind-the-scenes footage. Instead, the members are still seen in various countries doing their own things, like Rosé leisurely hanging out in LA. It's tough not to feel as if BLACKPINK isn't even in the same time zone, much less in the same space, rehearsing together. Although rumors suggest that the group's production team has also landed in LA, home to YG's office, the lack of official updates from the company has left fans feeling uncertain about what is truly happening behind the scenes. For a stadium tour of this magnitude, the lack of even simple promotional content is quite odd and has fostered an air of doubt rather than anticipation, as if the silence surrounding preparations wasn't disconcerting enough. Fans were recently given another warning, this one coming straight from the members themselves. On March 30th, Jisoo shared a behind-the-scenes vlog from her Image Promotions showcasing heartwarming clips from fan signings and heartwarming videos of fan meetings and appearances on music shows took place. Yet it was a surprising moment with Roz that had fans buzzing for entirely different motives. Toward the conclusion of the video, Rose swings by to cheer on Jisoo during her second pre-recording for Inkao. The two share an adorable exchange until Rose casually reveals that it's been the first time they've crossed paths since Christmas. That tidbit alone was enough to raise questions, especially considering that during that period, the group was allegedly gearing up for a world tour just months ahead. To add to the intrigue, Rose's response when Jisoo invited her to partake in a quick dance challenge was telling. She hesitates, chuckles, and confesses that it's been ages since she last danced. Although the exchange seemed lighthearted, it didn't escape notice. Fans flocked to social media almost instantly, sharing clips of the interaction as further evidence that preparations for the deadline tour could still be non-existent or at best perilously behind schedule. Nevertheless, not everyone is prepared to label this tour a total flop before it has even started. While YG's silence has sparked a fair bit of anxiety, part of the fan base suggests that just because appearances seem disorganized, it doesn't necessarily imply they truly are. In reality, if you followed BLACKPINK closely enough, you'd realize this type of hush-hush behavior is nothing new. The girls have consistently functioned behind the scenes, disclosing minimal information until everything is settled. Even during their solo phases, teasers were released only when the product was complete, not while it was still in development. Moreover, there's the comparison to the Born Pink tour, which many fans recall for its tumultuous initial performances, where the group appeared noticeably out of harmony. Nissanins contend that this time will differ. Back then, the members had been nearly entirely dormant. Now, however, they're juggling back-to-back solo projects, global engagements, and prominent showcases. In other words, the girls have been more visibly engaged than they've been in years. So, while things might feel hurried, particularly with no clear group promotion in the horizon, some fans remain optimistic that their recent solo training could actually assist them in being more prepared. Just when fans believed it couldn't become any more frenzied, WG finally validated what had been, has ultimately validated what had been. Circulating with speculation for weeks, BLACKPINK is set to unveil new music. However, rather than a complete return or the much-anticipated third album, the news left fans even more split. The label announced that the group will release one new track during their tour on the 5th and 6th of July. At Goyang Main Stadium, YG disclosed nothing further. No title, no theme, no release information, just the assurance that fans present at the initial shows would hear it live before anyone else. The company claimed it would create a significant moment. Expressing it was the ideal symbolic means to reconnect with fans, yet for many it appeared more like a hasty decision rather than a long-awaited return. Especially considering it has been nearly 3 years since BLACKPINK's last full album release. As tensions kept escalating online, something intriguing occurred. Lisa broke her silence. She recently conveyed a message to fans expressing her excitement for the forthcoming concerts and mentioned that the members had been diligently preparing behind the scenes. On the surface, it appeared as a lovely update, but the timing didn't escape attention, and some fans perceived it as a bit too coincidental. Throughout social platforms, some started to theorize that Lisa's note was less about sincere enthusiasm and more about managing the fallout, with tweets going viral regarding fans selling their tour tickets and rising debates about insufficient practice. A sudden flurry of